You'll find a lot of patterns in music. That's because certain chords are easier to play certain notes on different instruments. For example, on guitar, E is really easy to play when you're doing like a simple progression like a blues, which I'll show you in a moment. But on ukulele, E is a tricky chord. So C is the favorite ukulele chord. You'll find a lot of ukulele music in the key of C, which means that there's a C chord in there as the predominant chord. It makes it a lot easier to play, and certain chords are easier to play following a C. For example, A minor, C, A minor. Not a lot of movement in your hand, so that's easy. On guitar, you might be some other set of chords. On flute or clarinet or piano or whatever instrument you like, there are certain patterns and chords and notes that are just easier on that, so they get used more often. One pattern that's common on practically any instrument is blues, and there's something called a 12-bar blues. We talked earlier about what a bar is. It's a measure. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 4. So a 12-bar blues has 12 of those, and you just play a certain set of chords. I'm going to give you a very simple one right now. C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G7, 2, 3, 4, G7, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. I counted 2, 3, 4, 12 times. That's why it's called 12-bar blues. It's a pattern that has 3 chords in it, and if you want to play it, just look down there and download what I've put for you, because it's a basic pattern that comes in handy all the time, and you can do it in any key. I'm not going to get real complicated into it right now because this is a beginner course, but for example, you can do it in A. That's a different set of chords, but the pattern is the same. 4 of these, 2 of those, etc. So just print out the chord sheet that I have attached down to this lesson and just follow it along with a metronome, always with a metronome. Another pattern you'll see a lot is called the ice cream pattern, or sometimes the 50s pattern, and I don't know why, but that's just what it's called. And it's got 4 chords. It goes like this. C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, G7, 2, 3, 4. And that series of chords is really common in ukulele music because it's really easy on your fingers. There's very little movement. You can transition from one chord to the next easily. That's C, A minor, F, and G7. So if you put those 4 together in that specific order, you're doing what's called the ice cream pattern. You can do the ice cream pattern in any key with any chords, but the one I just showed you is the easiest. C, A minor, F, G7, and then finish it off with a nice round C.